Hey y'all, my name is Taylor. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. So today's video is a bit of a conglomeration. I have a book haul for y'all. I've had some books on the floor sitting there waiting for me to do a book haul because I wanted to do that first before I actually shelve them. I need to do a bookshelf tour, so in order for me to do that, I have to get these books on my shelf. So yeah, I've been promising a bookshelf tour for a while and other videos have kind of taken precedence, but I promise to get it out as soon as possible this month. I'm really hoping this month will be the month for my bookshelf tour. And then I went to DC with my husband and my 1-year-old, and I wasn't able to vlog it per se. It's a lot to just be on a trip with a 1-year-old to begin with, much less try and vlog it. So I did capture some video snippets of the different places we went so you can see some scenery and things. So I did do that, but I wasn't able to like be chatty. I was so exhausted. We would get to the hotel room and I would get things ready for the next day for the baby, and yeah, and that was pretty much it. I didn't hardly even read while we were there. So yeah, so I'll show that to y'all. So I'll show the book haul first, and then the film roll, and then I'll do some tips that I learned about going to DC in case you want to plan a trip as well. I always believe in learning from others, learning from their mistakes, from their wisdom of having been there, done that. So I wanted to do that in case that might be helpful. And I also have a Washington DC haul. A lot of those are books, and so I wanted to share those as well. So some different things in this video. So we'll get started with the book haul, and I'll start with children's books that I got for my daughter and a little bit for me too, and then I'll work my way into adult clean Christian fiction and then adult Christian nonfiction. So here we go. Alright, starting off with the youngest age group. This is for my daughter's age now, but this is Follow the T-Rex, and it is a felt flap book of color. So I made sure to say that slow because I knew I would trip over my words for that one. It's a tongue twister. But it is like you move the flaps to try and find the T-Rex, but you're finding other dinosaurs instead. And I just thought it was so stinking cute. I love dinosaurs. I don't know what it is, but I find them fascinating. I love seeing them on different articles of clothing, like cartoon-esque style. So I just had to grab that for her. I have a collection of dinosaur clothing for my daughter, and it makes me happy. So I also found this Noisy Baby Animals book, and it was at the thrift store. It's like I'm pretty sure it's brand new, and it was $1.25, and all of the touch parts are brand new. Like there's nothing messed up about them, but they also have like where's the button? The sound. So, if I can get it one-handed. But it has the different noises for the animals, and you don't really see that in thrift stores. Like, usually the sounds are just so used they don't even work anymore, but this is brand new. So, I'm excited to find that one. I love picture books. So, whenever I see like a hardcover, nice condition, almost brand new, I try and grab it. So, I'd never heard or seen this one before, so I just grabbed it because I thought it was super cute. So it's Uni the Unicorn, Story About Believing by Amy Krauss Rosenthal, I think is how you say it. But yeah, again, I love it with the pictures. It's just so colorful and cute. Kind of reminds me of Rudolph a little bit, I think. I glanced through it. I didn't actually read it through just yet, but it was cute. I just adore Jan Brett books. Oh, I love them. The details she puts in her stories and her pictures are so cute and so detailed. This particular one is The Mitten, and I have a couple of hers, but it's very hard to find them in the thrift store in good condition because she's very popular, and most of the time if you do run across it in the thrift store, it's so beat up it's not even worth paying thrift store money for. So it's always a good find to run across one of these. I also found this picture book, and it's called The Tree Lady, and it's by H. Joseph Hopkins, and it is about Catherine Olivia Sessions, and I think she grows up to do something with trees in a city or something, but I just thought it would be one of those picture books that you enjoy looking at the pictures, but the child is learning something along the way. And yeah, I thought that would be a good homeschool addition to our collection for that. And y'all, who doesn't love Franklin? I had Franklin loses his tooth growing up. I think I wore the cover off of that thing because I read it every single time I lost a tooth. Just loved it. I don't think I've ever read this version or this story. It is Franklin and the Thunderstorm by Paulette Bourgeois and Brenda Clark. And Franklin also, I mean, the illustrations in his books are pretty good too. And usually there's a moral of a story or whatnot. So I'm excited to find that one. I'm going to try and collect all Franklin books too. And then I have a middle grade book, Fish in a Tree by Linda Mullally Hunt. This is about a girl who has dyslexia, and this one was very popular for middle grade March. I saw a lot of people reading it, particularly I saw Chrissy and Amanda raving about this book, and I was just sold, and I saw it in the Goodwill for, I think it was like 50 cents or something, and I was like, I'm grabbing it, and I wouldn't have grabbed it otherwise. So thanks to them for inspiring me to get that one. I may read it. I'm not sure when I'll read it, but maybe middle grade Mark next year at the very latest. So, and if you have been on my channel for any period of time, you know that I have been slowly collecting the Magic Treehouse books. There's my stack right there. So I'm trying to collect them only through thrift stores, and I find it kind of like a scavenger hunt to try and find them all. I'm getting pretty close to getting all of the originals. I didn't even know there were Merlin Missions until I started trying to collect these. So I haven't read any of those, but the originals, I read several of those as a kid, but you know, my memory is kind of gone. So I'm trying to reread them all before I read them with my daughter later on. So in order for me to do that, I want to have my own set. So I wanted to show you the ones that I grabbed. So I grabbed a pretty decent amount this time around. So I have Ghost Town at Sundown, and a Merlin Missions one, Dogs in the Dead of Night, Mummies in the Morning, a Merlin Missions Soccer on Sunday, Night of the Ninjas, and another Merlin Mission, Summer of the Sea Serpent. So I saw on Bethany's channel, she also hauls children's books for her kids. She has 3 kids. And I saw on her channel the I Survived series, and I'd never heard of those before. So I thought, wow, it's children middle grade series that also teaches something. So I grabbed a whole bunch of them. So I Survived the San Francisco Earthquake in 1906. I think these are all by Lauren Tarshish. And so there's that one. I Survived the Children's Blizzard in 1888. The Japanese Tsunami, 2011. I think I remember that. The Nazi Invasion in 1944. True Stories, Tornado Terror, True Tornado Survival Stories, Amazing Facts from History and Today. The Shark Attacks of 1916. I thought of Holly. Every time I see a shark, I think of Holly because she loves them. And the Hindenburg Disaster 1937. The Joplin Tornado 2011. And that's what I'm most excited for. The Sinking of the Titanic 1912. I am a sucker for anything Titanic. Again, it's a weird obsession that I just love anything to do with the Titanic. Fascinating. So those are all my children's books. So now I'm going to talk about the nonfiction I got. There aren't a ton of them, but I found a Daily Gross Co. Chosen. I study on the book of Ephesians. It's very Very pretty. And if you aren't familiar with Daily Grace Co., they're very pretty, but they also have good content too. So they have different photos and different fonts and colors, and this one looks like it has a lot of purples. Very pretty. So I just grabbed that one. I have several from Daily Grace Co. I haven't read any from this type before. I have I'm doing a chronological study through them, from Eden to Eternity, but I haven't read any on just the books or like a topic, but I'm doing their big one, their chronological one. So I need to get to these after I get through my chronological study, which may be in a few years. So maybe a while before I get to that. I also got I Still Believe, a memoir by Jeremy Camp. This movie made me cry. And I didn't know he wrote, I guess he wrote the book first, because it says Now Major Motion Picture. I don't know. I don't know which one came first, but it's a memoir, and I thought it might be inspiring to read about, so I got it. And then last one, it's not really nonfiction, but it's a journal. So The Forgiveness Journal by Lisa TerKeurst, a guided journal to forgiving what you can't forget. And I know this is the companion to the book, which I don't own yet, but I ran across this and I was like, huh, if I ever do run across the book, this might be a good exercise to go along with it. So it's hardcover. I think I got it for like 10 cents. Yeah, like 5 or 10 cents. It was crazy. I was I think they had some kind of weird sale at Goodwill and they didn't have any signs up, because that place had no books, hardly. I think I found like 2 or 3, and this was one of them, and I got up to the register and it was like less than $1 for a lot of the stuff I got, and I was like, what? Alright, so Christian fiction, or classics. I have a classic book first, which I guess classics, a lot of them you can consider Christian fiction, because a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them have Christian elements. They were Christian. So anyways, I'm rambling. I have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, and I've shown this on my channel once before. Look at it, it's so glinty, it's so pretty. This was given to me by Kat. I'll have her channel linked below. She gifted this to me for my birthday, and I wanted to open it up because I had it in the packaging the last time I showed it, and I opened it up because some people were curious about what was inside. So it's the full-length novel, but it also has elements that bring more into the story. So it's interactive, meaning that you can pull things out and see them. So this is a copy of a letter. I know nothing about what any of these say, because I've never read Little Women before. So I don't know what to tell you, but this one looks like, I don't know, some kind of, it says the Pickwick Portfolios, maybe like a newspaper clipping type situation. It's front and back. So stuff like that, where it has letters and different things that just make the story come alive more. And I just love story. I love editions like this, where it just makes the story pop even more. It makes it come alive and all that. So that was that one. I found a copy of Persuasion. I don't own any of these as a standalone. I have two complete Jane Austen's like omnibuses. But I don't have one of just hers, and this was like 50 cents, and I can like mark this up and annotate if I wanted to. So I just grabbed this one. Love and a Little White Lie by Tammy L. Gray. This is one of the few 5 stars of contemporary romance that I've ever given. And I finally own it, and it's such a pretty cover. It's so summery. I just love this cover. It's one of my favorites. I have The Lady of Bolton Hill by Elizabeth Camden, and I'm a sucker for a blue dress on the cover, a blue period dress. And I'm sorry, I just now realized that I'm not even telling you about any of these, but I figured if you're interested, if the cover is enough to entice you, you can go check the description box. I'll have all of these links so you can go check them out. All right, I knew it was going to happen at some point. Have I had a single video that has not had a book fall? Like the past 5 videos. Anyways, The Rose of Winslow Street by Elizabeth Camden as well. This one has pretty pink. And, oh, I think it was Lindsay, maybe. Or maybe it was Alicia. One of y'all two had asked if there was a pink spine, I think it was, for historical fiction. There you go. Right there. Don't know if it's any good, but there you have it. The Headmistress of Rosemere, Whispers on the Moors, Book 2. Oh, it's Book 2. I didn't realize it was Book 2. I'll have to figure out what Book 1 is, but by Sarah E. Ladd, if I didn't already say. Got distracted. Yeah, so I have to find Book 1, but I thought the cover was intriguing, and I think I've seen it pop up a couple of times on Christian Booktube, so pretty sure she's a clean fiction writer. I don't think she's necessarily Christian, but clean at the very least. And then, I know some of y'all have told me before, but I can't remember right now. Love and the White Lie, like I said, is Christian. Actually, it's a Salvation story, which is one of my favorite tropes. And then the Elizabeth Camden books, which one of them fell? Those are Christian. So that is all my book haul. So here is my clips from Washington, D.C. So I hope y'all enjoyed those video clips. I myself enjoy travel vlogs, so I just feel like you get to live vicariously through other people's travels, even if you don't get to go yourself. So I thought maybe some of y'all might enjoy seeing some of the things that I got to see through video format, sort of kind of take you along with me. So I hope you enjoyed that. But I wanted to kind of list out some of the places we went and some things that we learned along the way in case you do want to go to DC. You can have a little bit of a heads up versus what we did. So learn from our mistakes. And so some of the places we went were the Capitol, the Washington Visitor Center, the U.S. Botanical Gardens. We went into a couple of the Senate buildings, specifically the Russell Building is really the one you want to go to. It's the oldest, I think. And we saw the Washington Monument, the Jeffersonian, the Lincoln Memorial, the FDR Memorial Monument, I don't know what it's called, and the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. So we covered a lot of ground in a few days. So those are the places that we went. And I'll say, if you are taking a small person with you, someone who needs like milk or formula or anything like that, you are allowed to take baby supplies, baby necessities, medical needed things on the plane with you. I didn't realize that you could actually take milk, so we learned that. And you can take them into the Senate buildings, into the Capitol. It's just, you have to inform them that it's for the baby. So we really wanted to go into the White House, but we missed the cutoff. You were supposed to request entrance into the White House within, I think the timeline is 21 to 90 days before you want to go, whatever date you're requesting. So you have to contact your, if you live in the US. I don't know how you do it if you're international. I don't even know if you can do it if you're international, but if you are living in the US, you go to the website and you plug in your address and it pulls up your representatives, your senator and your representatives, and you contact them and they will set up the tour for you. And that is, that's how you do that. So we weren't able to go into the White House, but we went to the White House Visitor Center. But we were able to get a congressional tour of the Capitol building. So that was through our senator's office, and a staffer took us through. Actually, they usually do small group tours for that, but we lucked out and we ended up only just being me, my husband, and my daughter, so it was really nice. So we toured the Capitol building, and when you do that, whatever section, so either the Senate or the House of Representatives, if you request a congressional tour of the Capitol, they give you a ticket to see the gallery where they do votes and things. So you get an admissions ticket for the side that you requested. So we requested it through the Senate, so I could only go into the Senate gallery. I couldn't go through the House of Reps. So I didn't realize that. So if you want to do both, I guess ask them. So we only saw the Senate, but it was still cool. I mean, that's the one I would want to see out of all of them. But yeah, so that was really nice. So there are a lot of cherry blossoms, and I had no idea this was a thing for the DC area until I saw a lot of stuff that were being sold with like cherry blossoms all over them, and I was like, what is this? So apparently I missed that. That's pretty famous. But anyways, if you want to go see those, that is a big tourist season, and you kind of guesstimate to go in like March, early April, and by the time we went, they were long gone. But apparently they came super early this year for some reason. So, and the Smithsonian's, like all the museums, all the monuments, everything is free. They're paid for by U.S. tax dollars, but the food and the lodging are very expensive. So you kind of like balances out, I think. Maybe that's just me. But the place where we stayed, my work paid for it, which was really nice. And that hotel was like $400 to $500 a night. And I was like, it's crazy, Megan. One of the nicest hotels I've ever stayed in, though. It was really nice. But also, food was super expensive as well. Like, lunch was like $20 per adult person. It was just hurting me, hurting my thrifty heart. So just be prepared for that. Like, you will kind of pay to make up for the free stuff, sort of. And then the last thing I'll mention is you may be interested in getting, if you really are a travel-y type person and you love history and monuments and things, they have a passport to your national parks book. This is the nice collector's edition one. Like, they have like a this is the hardback. They have a paperback edition, and I think they have a junior's edition too. But what it is you can stamp different national parks that you've been to, and it has like oh, look at that, I've been to Washington DC. They separate it into regions so you can try and get all the ones checked off. But it's interesting because it has like little blurbs about them, and it's kind of like a informal guidebook of like what places to go to, which is really nice. But it has like different descriptions, and then you put your stamps, which I totally forgot. Stuff is falling out of it. I totally forgot to bring this book with me because it's hardback and it's kind of chunky and heavy. But what they have at each national park thing, so it's like the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, like all the statuary type stuff, memorials. They have stamps that you take, so you put like the date, and then it says where the stamp is from. So that one was the Star Spangled Banner, National Historic Trail, President's Park, the White House. So we took some receipts and stamped some. So I would recommend, if you don't bring your full passport book, bring some snippets of paper, maybe. I'm going to try and remember that next time we go somewhere that has a national park to actually bring the book. So that was really cool. So anyways, those are some tips from Tay. So what I got a lot of different stuff. So first up, I have something else fell. Uh-oh. Oopsie. I got this board book for my daughter. Isn't it so cute? It's Hello Washington DC by Martha Day Jacques. I'm not sure if I said that right, but his little eagles that go around the different places in the capital of the United States of America, and shows the different places, and it's just so cute. Love it. But I had to grab her a little souvenir that she can enjoy now. But I grabbed several things for her when she gets a bit older, and I really want to homeschool one day, and I've been gathering up stuff, so I figured I can grab stuff about our nation's capital, and she can learn about it when she gets older. And I'm intending on reading some of this stuff now too. But so I found Washington DC History for Kids: The Making of a Capital City by Richard Panchik. But hopefully one day we'll get to go back to DC and maybe look at some of this more in depth, and she can see it in person herself, where she can actually remember. But I thought these were really cool, so that she can use them. And also, like an adult can totally read that. The Congress for Kids: Over 200 Years of Lawmaking, Deal-Breaking, and Compromising, by Ronald A. Rice. And same thing, like when she learns about how laws are made and Congress and all that, like tons of pretty pictures and just history, and in a format a kid can hopefully understand. Again, y'all, I love the picture books with a story behind them, something you can learn. So I'm going to cross this one, The House That George Built by Suzanne Slade. obviously about George Washington and the White House, and I just thought that was so cool. Like, it's George Washington, and I'm totally gonna read this when I have a chance. But so cool, love it. The White House. I also got a United States coloring book, so it has the different states with like different facts about them. So you're coloring and having fun, but also learning something about each state, which I thought was really cool. I may actually steal this for myself because I love to color and I would love to learn some of this stuff too. Look, South Carolina. I just threw it. Oh my goodness, but it's okay. It's undamaged. It's Taylor proof. Anyways, so I may save this for my daughter. I may commandeer it and get her another one later on. We'll see. I thought this book was really cool. It's a bit of a chunker, but it's quite heavy, but for a paperback. But it is Our White House, Looking In, Looking Out, created by the National Children's Book and Literacy Alliance with 110 renowned authors and illustrators. So I don't really even know what this entails, but I thought it was very prettily illustrated and something to be learned about the White House. So why not? Like, how pretty. Okay, I guess that's a ghost. Don't know. Don't know what this is, but it's got some pretty illustrations, so I'm gonna have to look through this and read it one day. Last book I think I got is Very Washington, D.C., a celebration of the history and culture of America's capital city, written and illustrated by Diana Hollingsworth Gessler. So this was the only copy I found out of all the places we went. I had no idea that they had this version of a guidebook for Washington, D.C. Because I recognize it because I have the Charleston version. And I was like, it's a series? Like, there's more of these? I need to look into this more because I love these illustrations. It's a guidebook, but it's so unique in how the illustrations are done. You get like these snippets, so like the writing and the different illustrations are so cool, and I was stoked to find this. Like, I can't wait to read into this more, but I just happened to find it's the only one they had, so I don't know if it got super popular and bought out or if they don't sell it anymore. Not sure. But I was so happy to find it. Like, you need to see what other editions of these books they have, because this is awesome. The last things I have are postcards, and I collect postcards. I've collected them ever since I was little, and I went on field trips. And you know, you don't have very much space when you're on a school field trip, and you don't have a lot of money when you're a kid. So the one thing I could get was postcards. So I have a whole postcard collection. Anytime I travel somewhere, I try and get a postcard to commemorate it and look back on. And I also have some tidbits of information on them. So even if I don't get like a guidebook or some other kind of souvenir, I always get postcards. Most of the time, they're pretty cheap. There was one place, the U.S. Botanical Gardens. They had like 4 postcards to choose from. I picked one of them out, got it to the register. That wasn't marked anywhere. It was $4.93. Like, I'm not paying $5 for a piece of paper. So I put that one back. But these ones were all like 50 cents to $2, which is not bad. So the more expensive ones were the really big ones. So I'm totally fine with that. But anyways, does anybody else collect postcards? I would love to know. If y'all want to see my postcard collection, don't know if anybody has any interest in that, let me know. Anyways, so one of the big ones I got, this is like, I've never seen huge postcards before. I was so excited. But the Capitol Dome, it has like the elevation of it, and this is the back. So I thought that was cool. And oh, I missed the Library of Congress. Was one place that we went to. But yeah. Oh, by the way, if you want to go to the Library of Congress, They only open like the main reading room, the part where they have like people doing research and actually reading and using the library, the main part of it. They only open it from 2 to 3. You're welcome. We lucked out and happened to be there at the right time, so we got to go in there, but my daughter started having a meltdown. It's like stone quiet. You could hear a pin drop, and my daughter wanted food. And got to the end, and we had to skedaddle. Like, she was quiet up until the very end, so thank goodness for that, but it's a little embarrassing. I have this grande postcard. Okay, this is the biggest postcard I've ever seen. But it is the paintings that are around the dome when you're in the rotunda. I think that's what it's called. But it depicts different parts of American history. My ring light's reflecting very bad, but that's the back of it, and there's another back. So that is the rotunda where you're standing, basically. Like, this is from like the floor up, I think, but that's straight up to see the painting at the very top. But that I was just talking about, this is it here. It's around the edge of it, so pretty much the middle of the dome, and it's painted to look like a carving, but it's really a painting. So I love that. And then I forgot to mention, I think, that we went to the National Archives, which is where the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence is. And my husband bought himself a declaration, like in a tube, like the National Treasure, and he made some memes with Nicolas Cage on his face, and he's a mess. But anyway, so I got some postcards with the Declaration and the Constitution to commemorate us seeing those in person. I didn't get to see those as a kid when I went before. I went in 7th grade, and I saw a lot of these places, but some of these places were the first time for me as well. And it's crazy that the Declaration and the Constitution are so faded. You can hardly read them anymore. Like the Declaration, you can see the J for John Hancock is still really prominent, but a lot of it you can't even read anymore, which is crazy. So maybe even by the time my daughter is my age, you may not be able to read it all. So crazy. So then I got this postcard with the Capitol, and then this is the summer house on the Northwest Capitol grounds, and it is very interesting building. It's so cool in there. This is where they used to go to get a reprieve from the sun, and there's a little well in the middle, and it's just so cool, and like cool temperature wise, cool too, but cool temperature wise. And I didn't even realize this was there. We just ran across it and like, oh, this is cool. So it's on a postcard, so it's pretty important, I guess. I also got a U.S. Capitol postcard as well from different angles, and the rotunda, and then there's the cherry blossoms I was talking about. And then this is the National Archives, where the Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution and the Declaration, they're in these receptacles, housing places, I don't know. But the glass on those things are thick, so nothing's getting through there. So then I got one of the National Mall, so the Washington Monument, looking at the Capitol. This collection of 12 postcards from the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum, so I'm going to show those to you real quick. And as part of my tips that I forgot to say, some places require you to have a timed entry ticket. It's all free, but some places you have to reserve your spot ahead of time. And the Air and Space Museum was one of them, and the other place that we went that required timed entry was the Library of Congress. You can do it the day of, as long as their spot's open, but I recommend doing that ahead of time if you can. I had no idea that was a thing. Not every place, so confusing. Like, some places don't require it and some places do. So do your homework and look beforehand. I just assumed they were free and I could just show up. Yeah, but I won't bore you with all the different space stuff. And then the last one I got was a booklet of different 33 postcard books. So there's different ones that we saw. and some we didn't see because some places were closed and we don't have enough time. Oh, there is a zoo in DC, which I had no clue. I didn't get to see it, but it's there if you want to see it. But yeah. So, anyways, that is all of the stuff that I got from DC and my book haul. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions, if I can be of any help in case you want to go to DC or have any questions. Let me know if you've read any books that I hauled, if I should prioritize any of them. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.